Hi guys, Freaky Fish Guy here with another profile from the locals I went to today. Here we have a train profile.
It's a 60 card list, which is so many and everyone hates it.
60 card trains.
60 card trains, because we've got to fit every single archetype in we can. So we'll start off the standard train thing. So we've got 3 copies of Super Express Bullet Train, 3 copies of Darren Crane. Those are just standard train things. 3 copies of Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede, which is the resummon from Grave, and then you've got the one of Night Express Night because it's just not too bad, and then the Rough and Rail card to follow up plays, searches at the end of the turn. And then moving on, we've got Machina package, just a small one. We've got 1 Machina Citadel, 3 Machina Metal Crunch. Metal Crunch is just a normal summon, can search you one of the trains or whatever you need. Citadel, if you can get to the grave, this one's not running too many ways to get to the grave, but if you can, it's just something annoying that people have to think about. Although, as I found out today, people seem to Ice Dragon Prison it, and then I get sad because they blow up my board. Then I've got Infinitrack package, so we've got 2 Harvester, just normal summon, add 1 Anchor Drill for the Pog hands when you draw this, and the Brutal Dozer, or you can get in the Brutal Dozer. You have an instant rank 9, which is pretty nice. And then you've got the ones that you search off of the Dozer, which I have 2 targets, the Tunneler and the Trencher. Tunneler, Pot of Avarice on legs, pretty nice, and Infinitrack Trencher is just a resummon. And then we've got Kaiju package, because people play Dragoon and I hate it, so we've just got the 4 Kaijus.
So one Gamma-Sil, 1 Kadala and 2 Jizzy?
Yeah. Jizzy is just nice because it's a level 10 machine, so if you can summon it on your side, if you draw 2 sort of thing, you can get 1 on their side, 1 on your side. You get instant rank 10 access. And then we've got some hand traps, running 2 Nib. 3 Phantasma, which could probably just be Ash at this point. I just kind of ran them because I thought I'd run into more combo, but I didn't. And then I also got the 3 Gamma and Driver because it's a good hand trap. Right, and then a couple more monsters to go. We've got the 3 special summons, so we've got Best Blaster Cannon Core, which no one knows what it is. It came out in the Megatins. It's basically if your opponent controls more monsters you do, you can special summon it. And it's a level 9, so if you open that plus the Metal Crunch, you can get rank 9 for free, which is quite nice. And then 1 off Pank Chops because we're hard going second, and it's a good card. And then we've got 2 Shaddoll monsters, which will become more apparent in a bit, but we do run the Shaddoll fusion.
Yep, the dragon came up in our game.
Yeah, so we've got the Shaddoll Dragon, which can pop a back row when it's sent, and then the Beast is just another one if you end up having to do it twice, or if you banish the dragon.
So Beast draws a card.
Yeah, you just draw a card.
So Shaddoll fusion is get a free level 10, and then a draw 1 if you need it.
Yeah,
to
so
replace the
because
fusion.
you're getting the Shaganaga, which is a rank 10, level 10 Earth Machine, which is just nice. Spells, 3 under schedule. Best spell in deck, unless you get ashed, which it does quite often. So you summon a level 4 lower, level 5 or higher, gets you a rank 10 or a level 10, and then a 4, which is normally the level 4 train that can search at the end of the turn because it doesn't do anything on the field anyway. They get their effects negated. We've got 3 heavy forwards to search our Infinitracks, so it's normally just a starter. You either search the Harvester, or if you have a good hand, you can search the Anchor Drill, which is normal and then special. It also comes up the second effect in terms of just being able to change the battle position and attach itself if you need more attacks with your Libe, or you need to change something because you know it's going to get beaten over otherwise. We've got the 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Don't normally resolve this, but it can sometimes bait out negates against like combo boards, like the Borrowload Savage. You can bait out a negate,
and it gets you a level 10 if it resolves.
Yeah, and then you can get Jizukiru. And then, as I found out today, if someone sees it in your hand and goes, oh shit, that's going to ruin my board, they can send it to the grave with their smoke grenade, but then you just manage it to add a Kaiju anyway.
Yep.
And then you just go over their thing regardless, so it doesn't even matter. Then we've got 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion. It's a good card going second. Generally people are putting up stuff on the extra deck. And you just, as I said, send the dragon, get a pop, or send beast, get a draw, and then you've got a free rank 10.
Yep.
And then the rank 10 recycles it, and then if you use the effect of the tunneler to put back the Shekanaga, you have another way of getting there, which is nice. Then we've got Terraforming to give us another copy of our amazing field spell, Revolving Switchyard. So if you don't know what it does, if a level 10 Earth Machines special summoned or normaled. If you have the Night Express Knight, you then can special summon level 4 and it becomes level 10. It doesn't negate it, so you can then extend further with if you get the Flying Pegasus, get something else out of the grave, or the Anchor Drill, or there's a couple of good level 4 targets, and then a couple of other janky one-offs that in our 60 card deck we somehow see all the time. We've got the 1 Twin Twisters because back row decks, as I found out today, are quite prominent, and then Monster Reborn because extension is good, and then 3 Pot of Desires because it's 60 cards and I like having to not shuffle as much.
Is there a reason you're running like 1-off Twin and 1-off Monster Reborn? Or just...
1-off Twin is just because people play Mystic Mine and it's sometimes useful to have, and also the discard can sometimes be relevant if you send stuff like Machina Citadel, because you generally end up, there are a couple of, they're not full bricks, but there's cards in there that you don't really want to draw, but they're also good but they can be good in the graveyard, so you can send them with the Twin Twisters.
Yep.
And then into the extra deck, we've got on Infinitrack Life, there's our Link one. This card's pretty good. People sometimes forget, or they don't ask what it does. So if it leaves the field, you can attach it to an Xyz monster, and then when it's attached, the monster can't be destroyed by card effects, which is pretty nice. We'll put that over there. And then we've got the Link 2s, we've got Double-Headed Anger Knuckle, which is good if you have the field spell out, but because it can just continuously recur more level 10s out of your graveyard, and also just recur itself in the graveyard. We've got the Ancient Gear Ballista.
So this came up somewhat spicy in our game. We were literally right at the end of time. I had my Dragoon on the board. I was feeling pretty happy, and then he made my Dragoon 0 attack, and I punched over the lead for 6k, and then attacked over another monster for game.
So it's one of those where it's good in some situations where you have to, like in a general game state, if you have an extra spell and you're not going to use it, like you have a desire you don't use, you can just set it, pop it to, as I say, make something 0 attack, 0 defense, and then you hit it with leave at 6k. If you've made good stab already, that's game on its own. Regardless of what they have on the field. Then I got 1 Cleafort Genius. It's quite a useful card. The second effect doesn't really come up so much, but just generally having something that's unaffected by link monsters and spell traps can be quite useful against some stun decks and things like that. Pentastag because piercing's pretty good, especially with Liber because it can attack so many times. And then we've got our Xyz. We've got the 1 Infinitrack River Stormer, searches, sends, it's good. The 1 Infinitrack Earth Slicer, which is basically, as I say, if you get the Anchor Drill and the Brutal Dozer start, you can make that and then pop 2 cards for free, which is quite nice. And we'll see in the side what you can replace that with as well if you want to have some going first place. We've got 2 Gustav Max, burns for 2k. It's good. Sky Palace Gangara Day, which is just pops a card as well. Which, if you have the Derocrane under it, then you pop 2 cards and deal 1,000. Dora, which is just an annoying card, can't be outed by a lot of different things. It's unaffected when it detaches, so it's quite a nice sticky minion. It's got 4k booty. It's quite nice. And then 2 copies of Liber. It's the card that's the deck's based around. It's just Love Train, hit you for 6k.
Big train punch. Game.
Big train punch. People, and it gets over Dragoon. If you can get to one of the rank 10s, which sometimes you do because they're like waiting for it, and then you just overlay for the Libra and hit it because it's only 3k. You're happy. 1-off 7 Sins, which is a card you don't make often, but sometimes it's good for outing things that can't be destroyed, and you can make it with Harvester plus a rank 10 or level 10. You make it level 12, and then you make 7 Sins and banish the board. And then the 1 target for the Shaddoll Fusion is the Shaganaga, level 10 Earth Machine. Pretty good. And then
finally we've got the side deck.
Yeah, side deck coming up. I've got 3 Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, just for if anyone decides to play Numeron or anything, I can just stop that.
Stop the Numeron as well.
Got Truking All Calamities, which is our side deck tech if we have to go first, and it actually gives us a play of going first rather than just Dora pass. But you can make it with the same plays as before, you just don't extend as far with the brutal Dozer and the Anchor Drill. You then got 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Those on top of the Twin Twisters, just for things you side in against like Eldritch or something to get rid of their spells so they don't do it. 1 of Call by the Grave, I put it in the side because as much as it's nice to have, it's a 1 of in a 60 card deck. you can put it back in there, but it's unlikely to draw it. Then we've got some traps. Red Reboot. Love this card. It came up. It's very good. 2 anti-spell fragrance. Annoying for people. If people are playing the best deck, Pendulum, we'll throw that down. But generally just hits a lot of decks who are trying to like search and things. You can just flip that in standby. 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Good going first card. You just set it and forget.
Yep.
And then 2, Machina Overdrive. If you're going first, this card's pretty nice just to have access to your Citadel. And if you use it when you've got Dora on the field, you can basically summon it for free, because normally this card targets and then destroys the monster you target. But if it's Dora and you chain the Dora before, or you make the Dora beforehand, it's unaffected, so it doesn't get destroyed. So you just get the Citadel for free, and then you can target the Dora with the Citadel to pop everything with 3200 or less, because the Dora is quite big. So that's quite nice. And then also the second effect is something that people always forget about, where you can shuffle back 3 either in the graveyard or banished, so you can actually recycle things like your Infinitrack Tunneler, or things that people have banished because it's annoying as hell, because they want to get rid of your Citadel or whatever. Then you can bring that back into the deck and draw a card, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's my deck.
Very nice. Thank you very much for this. Trains. I lost this deck earlier. It's the second time ever in my life I've lost to Trains, and the other time was at Bristol regionals, and it's just something about punching for 6k with
so
a
good.
big train. It does feel real good.
Yeah, that's why we play it.
Lovely. This was a very interesting 60 card profile. Obviously it worked because you did win a few games today. Thank you very much.
Nice.
See you next time, bud.
No problem.